surveillance state used to have better manners. At least in the old movies, it looked scary. Big screens on the wall, men in black uniforms, helicopters over the city, and a giant face telling you to obey. Now it looks like a little camera on a pole outside a Walmart, a lame suburban dystopia with AI. Flock Safety sells automatic license plate readers to police departments, neighborhoods, schools, businesses, and city governments. The pitch is simple and almost impossible to argue with. Catch stolen cars, find dangerous suspects, help cops do their jobs. Nice, responsible. But then you look closer and realize the product is not really a camera, it is a memory machine. Every car that passes gets scanned. Plate number, time, place, direction, make, model, color, sometimes even bumper stickers or damage. Then it goes into a cloud database where it can be searched later and quietly collected to some other system nobody mentioned when the city first approved the contract. This is the part they never put in the brochure. A camera sees you once, but a network remembers where you have been. Flock's defenders will tell you this is not mass surveillance because it is not facial recognition. Great, congrats. They do not need your face if they can follow the damn car. In America, your car is your second body. It takes you everywhere, including the places you are supposed to be, the places you are not supposed to be, and the places you will later have to explain. The machine does not need to know what you did there. It only needs to know you went, and that is enough. Because where you go says what you need, who you know, what you fear, what you believe, what you are hiding, and what some future cop or politician might decide to find interesting. This is why the nothing to hide argument is so pathetic. Nobody has nothing to hide. People have political lives, messy lives, stupid lives, private lives, and a free country is not a place where innocent people have no secrets. Our freedom is being eaten alive by companies like Flock and police departments with grant money. For years, Flock spread through America with the usual magic words: public safety, efficiency, community protection. Those words work because they always work. People are scared, police departments want tools, and city councils like easy answers. But now the backlash is catching up, and that is the newsy part. Flock is not just being criticized by the usual privacy weirdos everybody pretends not to hear. Cities are fighting over it. Councils are freezing. Protesters are showing up. Contracts are getting killed. And even major police departments are suddenly discovering civil liberties like a wallet they forgot in an old jacket. The ACLU is running a campaign literally called Get the Flock Out, warning that Flock-style license plate readers are building a nationwide mass surveillance system without a warrant. The Guardian reported on cities cutting ties or revolting against Flock amid privacy concerns, including fights over data ownership language and even videos of hackers claiming they access live feeds from Flock cameras. First they tell you the camera is harmless, then they tell you the data is safe. Then everyone acts shocked when the magic internet pole turns out to be connected to the internet. And then there is Los Angeles. In July 2026, the LAPD halted its use of Flock after mounting concerns about data control, privacy, security, and possible sharing with other agencies, including immigration authorities. This is not some tiny town discovering a spooky gadget too late. This is one of the biggest police departments in America saying, essentially, maybe the creepy camera company needs stronger rules before we keep feeding it the streets. And yes, of course, sometimes these cameras help because that is how every surveillance system gets its foot in the door. It does something useful just often enough to make the nightmare look reasonable. But the real question is not whether the machine can catch a thief. The real question is why it gets to scan everybody else. That is the scam. They sell you the criminal, build the system for the public, and then the system grows. First it is for stolen cars, then it is for investigations, then for regional cooperation, then it is shared with another agency, then someone uses it for immigration enforcement, Then someone searches it for abortion-related travel, and then someone wants protest data. This is how this stuff works. Not with one giant evil law, but with 1,000 little approvals nobody watches. A city council vote, a police budget line, a pilot program, a vendor demo, a neighborhood Facebook panic about suspicious vehicles, a local news story about one stolen truck recovered in 10 minutes. And then another camera goes up, and another, until the boring parts of the country start to look like a cheap version of Minority Report built by people who love spreadsheets. And the mistakes are not theoretical. Flock cameras can misread license plates, confuse states, and send police after the wrong car. In a country where traffic stops can turn violent, where immigration status can destroy families, and where some neighborhoods get treated like permanent crime scenes, a technical error is not just a technical error. It is a human being pulled over, searched, detained, terrified, or worse. A false hit in a rich neighborhood is an inconvenience. A false hit in the wrong neighborhood is a gun at the window. That is the ugly part. Surveillance never lands evenly. The camera may scan everyone, but the consequences do not fall on everyone the same way. And Flock is only one piece of the bigger machine. Doorbell cameras, traffic cameras, private security cameras, real-time crime centers, facial recognition, phone location data, smart cars, drones, data brokers, police software, and AI tools promising to find patterns in the normal human behavior. The modern city is turning into one big nervous system for the state. Except the nerves are privately owned, the memory is in the cloud, and the people being watched are told to be grateful because someone once stole a Kia. That is what makes it so creepy. Tyranny feels like convenience and safety, like the kind of boring little technology nobody wants to argue about because arguing makes you sound like a paranoid weirdo. And that is exactly how it wins. The new Big Brother does not need to kick down your door. He just needs to make you wonder whether the road kept a record. He does not need to ban protests if people start thinking twice about driving near one. Control every clinic if people worry their car might be logged outside it. Or follow every journalist if sources are afraid to meet them. Good surveillance does not only catch people, it changes them. Teaches them to behave as if they might already be in the file. So when someone says this is just paranoia, ask them what part is imaginary. The cameras, the scans, the databases, the mistakes, the sharing, the police contracts, the backlash. All of it is real, and even big cities have started getting nervous about how these systems are used and who controls the data. The only fantasy is the childish belief that a machine built to track everyone will somehow only be used against the right people. This is not how power works. Power uses what is available, and Flock is making movement available. Not in some dramatic cyberpunk future with flying cars and neon rain, but right now in the dumbest possible version of dystopia: suburbs, shopping plazas, school zones, city budgets, local police dashboards, and a polite invoice sent to City Hall. Just a Flock camera on a pole watching your car go by while everyone pretends the road is not watching.